This tutorial will assist you in adding volunteer hours that will show up in the monthly conference report. These are hours that are not associated with a particular CMS case. With respect to CMS cases, if you recall, when you are entering casework under the tab Visit, you are asked to indicate the type of visit, the date the visit took place, and for the primary and secondary caseworker, you're asked to enter the amount of time that you have spent working on this case, not only the time spent on CMS, but the time speaking and visiting with the friend and any follow-up that needs to be done. In this case, if there's a secondary and if you spent time with the secondary discussing the case, or if the secondary was with you on the home visit, you enter the number of minutes that you will be spending on this case, as well as the number of miles. In this case, it's a telephone visit, so there were no miles involved. These numbers that you enter will be added up by the conference. They are not reported by individual Vincentians. They are reported on behalf of the conference. And all of the time for the various cases that are entered into CMS is added up and included in the monthly conference report. But let's say that you have other volunteer hours that are not associated with a particular CMS case. The way you enter that information is you first go to the Home tab, and under the main menu, you will see Add Volunteer Task. You click on that. What you'll see is information associated with particular cases that you've handled. This is the information that you had included in the Visit tab, and it shows up here as part of your volunteer hours. But let's say that there was additional work that you did. For example, and let's use this drop-down menu. It gives you many categories of volunteer hours. Let's say, for example, that there was case administration work where you were spending time adding up the pledges for your conference and possibly preparing a report that you wanted to deliver to the conference leadership or to a conference meeting. You would consider this general case administration. You put the date, you can just click on the calendar and choose whatever date that the activity took place. You then indicate the amount of time that you spent. So let's say that you spent 45 minutes preparing a report. You didn't travel at all in preparing this report, so you put 0 miles. You don't need to indicate the number of friends helped, since in this case, it's part of administration, and there's no case associated with it. What you do at this point, after you've entered it, is you select Save. And now this is in there and will be reported as case administration as additional volunteer time in the monthly report. Now, in some instance, you'll have one Vincentian enter information for the entire conference. And again, this information is not reported in the monthly conference report under a particular individual. It's reported for the entire conference. So let's say the conference secretary wants to enter the time that was spent by all of the Vincentians who were attending a conference meeting. You would select the date, select whatever date the conference meeting took place. Let's say it took place on April 1st. You go to your drop-down menu and you look at the different categories, and they have one that says Meeting Conference. Let's say that there were 18 people attending the conference meeting and that the conference meeting took 90 minutes. So each person, each of those 18 people were at a conference meeting for 90 minutes. What you would do is add the total. In this case, 18 individuals times 90 would be 1,620 minutes. Let's say that most of your conference lives within 2 miles. You can make an estimate because you'll know that some people traveled less than 2 miles going to and from the meeting. Let's say the meeting took place at church, and you have a general idea of where your conference members live. You can estimate. So let's say that everybody lived within 2 miles of the church. You had 18 individuals at the meeting traveling 2 miles to and from the meeting. So you would enter 36 miles. Again, you're not helping a friend. There's no need to put numbers help, and there's no need to put a case number. You select save. And at the end of the month, on the monthly conference report, on the first page of the report, it will show the total miles and the total hours spent by the conference in all of its volunteer activities. And in the appendix, it will break it down according to the different categories and show how the conference time was spent by the individual Vincentians. I hope you have found this helpful.